No, Tina had to back out. Was good, focus. Wait for some people to trickle
Next
up in here.
right. Proceed about 3 miles to I-10 West.
Tina Hartman was good. How you doing? See if some people trickle up in here. You know, my shit's being hella suppressed, so, you know, please hit that like button when you come up in here so that the algorithm can send out notifications. Notifications ain't free, y'all. Notifications ain't free. You got to pay for them with likes or downvotes. Doesn't matter. Engagement. You know? Engagement. That's what gets the shit going. So, you know, I just had 3 likes. Now it's down to 2. So, I don't know what happened. Maybe I'll play some music. I don't know. 3 people in the building. Let me get 3 likes, please. There's so much crap on the radio nowadays. No, thank you. I'm good with the music. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Snapzilla Gorilla, welcome to the Definition of Anarchy. I'm gonna just get going, man. You know, it's been non-stop dog and pony ever since this election, right? And, you know, like I said, this election continues to expose the silly folk from the folk that ain't silly. You had Giuliani. So, sorry, somebody just called me. You had Giuliani, right, come out and do a press conference to talk about the so-called voter fraud and all this other shit, right? And he starts sweating and his hair dye starts rolling down his face. Now, when things like this happen, just like when the fly landed on Mike Pence, that seems to be of such great importance to anybody that's putting out information to the people. Like, now you have just distracted from what he was talking about, right? Now it's all about the hair dye and the sweating. Who knows why he was sweating, right? Who knows why he was sweating? He's an older gentleman. He's an older guy. He's gonna have hair dye probably. You know, some people are insecure about having gray hair. I don't know. Is that really relevant? Is that relevant? I don't think it is. You know, but this is how you get the likes. This is how you get the views. By launching ad hominem attacks to people that you don't agree with. Instead of arguing against their points, you want to bring up shit like hair dye flowing down his face. It's just funny. It's funny. Meanwhile, Pfizer is seeking emergency approval from the FDA to get 50 million vaccines out within the next month. How many people knew that? You see, while the dog and pony show is going on and going on and going on, they're making moves to hit us with this bullshit, this medical tyranny, right? Hitting us with the medical tyranny. Every time you turn around, there's a new advancement. There's a new advancement towards complete and total medical tyranny pushed onto the people. Pfizer is seeking emergency approval to get 50 million vaccines out within the next month. All right. 50 million is going to go to the healthcare workers first, right? It's going to go to the healthcare workers first. The military general is saying mandatory. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying mandatory. He issued that warning. He said that. He said it's going to be mandatory. And this is what I don't understand why this isn't being brought up by Trump supporters, right? These Trump supporters won't bring up the fact that Trump wants to use the military to distribute vaccines. Why the military? Unless you wanted to use force. Unless you wanted to force it down to people's throat. Going out to the poor and nursing homes too. Yeah, that's the next wave. It's going to be the medical professionals, the poor, the elderly, right? Not even the poor. Not even just the poor. The African American community and the Native American community. That's how Bill Gates wants it to go out. That's how Donald Trump wants it to go out. All these people that want to push these crack scenes, they want the African American community and the Native American community to have it first. I need us to understand why. People with jobs too, yeah. I mean, you ain't gonna be able to work without it, right? I need people to understand why there's so much emphasis on, what's up, old head Deuce? So much emphasis on the African American community in terms of, you know, extermination, and not even just the African American community. What are the two communities in this country they continue to completely try to wipe out?
I-10 West.
The indigenous folk, right? And the African American, which is sometimes is interchangeable. So the Latin community, yeah, but that just goes back to the Native American community. I mean, it's a complicated history, right? The history of this country, culturally, is a hodgepodge, right? Y'all know my stance. Black people were here before the Europeans showed up. All right. Anyway, moving past that, do you know why there's so much emphasis on that? Is because we have the lowest population. So they're going to get rid of the people they feel is easy to get rid of first. And they've been doing it ever since Planned Parenthood came online, right? How many millions of black babies? And, you know, this isn't just a conservative talking point. This is real shit. How many black babies have been exterminated through Planned Parenthood and other means, right? We were easy. That's why we're still at 13%. Soon to go down to 10%, right? We are losing more people than we are creating. And me having 6 children, I can't do it by myself, y'all. I can't do it even with me having 6 children. I can't do it by myself, right? I'm trying my best. You know, that's why. It really doesn't necessarily have to do with race. It's just mathematics, right? Mathematically, right? If you want to control the people, the less people there are, the easier they are to control. So you start by the smallest communities, smallest populations, wipe them out, and then you can start working on the larger populations. Understand, white folks who aren't part of the elite cabal, white folks who consider themselves to be truthers and freedom lovers, they don't want you around either, right? If you're not a statist, if you're not bought into the system, they want you gone. So don't get it twisted. White folks are targets too. They're just not as easy targets as black people and Native Americans and Hispanics. But of course, they're going to need their little worker bees, right? They're going to need the worker bees. So they're not going to completely wipe every community out. I've been watching Fargo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Fargo is a TV series based on the movie that came out, I believe, in the 90s.
In 2 miles.
Came out in the 90s.
On the right.
Really, really good. It was a really good movie, really well written. And they started making a TV series based on that type of storytelling, right? Now, it's not a direct, they're not, the stories in each season aren't even connected in any meaningful way. It's just the way they tell the story and how it's written. It's just a great show. I would suggest y'all check out Fargo. But I don't usually like to use movies and videos and TV shows to draw analogies. But there was a scene in this latest season of Fargo. And in the latest season, you have two warring gangs in Kansas City, Missouri in 1950. Right, 1950, Kansas City, Missouri. You got two warring gangs, right? One is an Italian gang, and the other is a black gang, right? And they start going to war and all that other shit. And of course, the Italians have the police in their pocket. But throughout the movie, they make it clear that, you know, let's say Italians, Irish, and blacks are all considered second-class citizens in the eyes of the elites in the United States. They're second class. The Italians are second class. The freaking the Irish are second class. And interestingly enough, the Irish and the Italians were in Kansas City first, warring with each other, right? The Italians wiped out the Irish gang, and then the blacks moved in. And come on, man. The blacks moved in, and they started to war. And then, in order to come up with a truce, they had to trade their sons in, right? They had to trade their sons.
Right turn.
So each gang had the boss's son as a ward. A ward is like a hostage, basically. But anyway, there's a scene where the boss, the Italian boss, goes to members of the black gang, and because they're in jail, he has the police in their pocket, right? So that gives them another notch above the black folks, because they're closer, you know, to the elite white folks than the black folks are. So they get a little bit of a notch above the black folks in terms of society. So the Italian boss goes to the black gang members, and he's like, do you know why? Do you know why Americans love crime stories? And I was like, okay. He said, because America is a crime story. You get that? I thought that was brilliant. Americans love crime stories, and we do, right? We love it. We love like watching gang movies. We love watching mob movies. We love watching Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Colors, all that shit. We love it. Americans love a crime story because the history and the present of the United States is a crime story. I was like, yo, that is brilliant. That was a brilliant thing to say. Now, he went on, and I was like, yo, this dude hit it. Whoever wrote this part must have been a black dude. But it was the most brilliant thing I've ever seen in a movie or in a show. The most brilliant piece of dialogue. He said, when you look at us, the Italian mob boss, he said, when you look at us, right? when they look at us, they see people using crime to get ahead, right? Like, oh, they're smart. They see the Italians as using crime to get ahead. But when they see black folks, they just see crime. That's it. That shit was like, yo, that is America in a nutshell. When they see an Italian committing crime in the ways that they commit crime, they see it as them hustling and committing crimes to get ahead in this country. But when black folks do the same shit, it's just black folks committing crime. And we're looked at as less than when we do this. And I was like, you can apply that to every facet of American life, right? Oh, Jay, what's up, man? I'm just talking about Fargo. I went over a scene in the Fargo show, season 4, where the Italian mob boss told the black gang members that he was like, do you know why Americans love crime stories? It's because America is a crime story. And then he said, when they see Italians commit crime, they look at it as using crime to get ahead. But when they see black people commit crimes, right, in the same way, they see it as black folks just committing crime. You understand what I'm saying? It's really simple. It's simple, but then it's complex at the same time. And like I said, it can be applied to every facet of life in this country, even outside of committing crime, right? So let's say you become successful. You become successful in the right and legit way, whatever that means. What do they see you as a black man? Oh, you an uppity Negro. You bougie. You what they call that? When you ghetto fabulous, ghetto rich, new money, right? When we become successful and make shit happen for ourselves, it's never a good thing to some people, right? Just like those families in Georgia who wanted to buy 90s, they didn't want to buy. Yeah, one of the good ones, Jay Slick. One of the good ones. Oh, you a good Negro. Oh, you's an uppity good Negro. See, when we come up and when we are successful, we're a threat. Now, like those families in Georgia who bought 97 acres of land because they wanted a safe place for black people to be. What did you see? I read some comments. Oh, that's racist. Oh, this, that, and the third. Oh, well, if you want to be safe, yeah, I wouldn't live around black folk. All that type of bullshit, right? These families took it upon themselves, right? They grabbed their bootstraps like they tell us to do. They tell us to grab our bootstraps, and we grab our bootstraps and we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. When we actually accomplish that and make something happen for ourselves, it's a huge problem. And the founders of this community never said that white folks are excluded. All they said was they wanted a safe place for black people to live. And that right there was a problem for so many people. And watching that scene, it just got me thinking how true what he said was. it speaks to the awareness. It speaks to the awareness of this knowledge, right? There is an awareness of this knowledge that they will deny. They will deny it all day and night. This is what they want. When they say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, that means get up early in the morning, take your ass to work, not to your own business. Bootstraps, pulling yourself up to you by your bootstraps to them means going to work for them and making them money and then paying you a paycheck. So you come work 9 to 5. That's what they mean. They don't mean go make something happen for yourself. They don't mean go start your own business, go buy your own land, be self-sufficient. No. When they say pull yourself up by your bootstraps, that means take your ass to work, boy. Bring your ass to work, boy. Clock in, clock out. And take this paycheck and take your ass home, boy. That's what they mean. They don't want you to succeed in any way other than to work up under them for those slave notes. They don't want you to have resources. They don't want you to convert those slave notes into actual resources. When you do that, it's a problem. History has shown us this. You know, there's a Black Farmers Association. Y'all know that? There's a Black Farmers Association that has about 60,000 members.
In half of a mile, slight left turn onto South San Vicente Boulevard.
When the Black Farmers Union or the Black Farmers Organization was started, there were millions of farmers that were part of that organization. In the just last century. And you know what happened? You know why it went from 1 million to about 60,000? Well, they started cutting the bootstraps. You understand what I'm saying? They started ripping the boots off. They did whatever they could to strip all those black people, all those hundreds of thousands of black folk that owned land and were farmers of their land. Any way they could, right? Bad loans, using redlining, whatever they had to do, gerrymandering, whatever they had to do, rezoning, redistricting, right? Straight up murder, bombing, right? Tulsa. That organization is now trying to rebuild that. But even to this day, if you go and read the testimonials of these black farmers, they're still having problems. Yeah, lynching, all that. Oh, you looked at a white girl? Oh, you're done for, boy. You done for.
Turn ahead and then slight left turn.
Like, look, they're not really upset that you looked at the white girl. They're actually excited. They're happy you looked at the white girl because now they can lynch your ass. You understand what I'm saying? They can lynch you now because you gave them a reason. Ask Emmett Till. That's the American story, right? That's the American crime story. Meaningful gains have to be worked for harder by some individuals. For some people, bootstraps just a little too short. Well, that's why they have this equity shit, right? No, it's not equity. See, how do you correct this? Not through socialism. Not through socialism, no. You correct this by letting people mind their own fucking business. Letting them
Next
gain,
slight left, and
letting
then
them
right turn.
excel and advance without your fucking interference. But see, every time the government interferes, and that's exactly what happened with these black farmers. And not even just black farmers, right? You have any farmer in general. Their land is being taken over by Monsanto and other interests like that. But it was just easier to go after the black farmers. Why? Because we don't have no fucking allies, yo. Do you understand that? We don't have allies. You see, members of the government that would fuck with, white farmers, is not so easy because Jimmy knows Tommy over there and shit. No, do we have that? No. Black folks don't got that. So the reason it's easier to strip black folks of their land, we don't have no fucking allies. We ain't got no backers. We don't got it. We don't have the police in our pocket. We don't have judges. We don't got motherfucking congressmen and senators, even though we supposed to, right? Do you think Kamala Harris gives a hot damn about a black farmer? Do you think Maxine Waters give a hot damn about a black farmer? And if they did, what could they do about it? Nothing much. Nothing much unless they wanted to be removed from the party. If they don't toe that party line, if they don't follow the agenda, they out of here. We don't have fucking allies. We don't. We don't have allies as black people. We don't. And, it's sad to see that a lot of black people think that Democrats are your allies. No. It's not true. No. I'm sorry to break it to you. But white elite Democrats don't give a hot damn
in 1/10
about your black ass.
Your destination is ahead.
Understand that. Understand that. We don't have allies in this country. We don't even have allies in the world. We don't even have allies in Africa.
The route guidance is now finished.
No, we don't. Oh, this fucking prick. God damn it. We just don't have the allies. We don't have the muscle. You understand? If you ain't got the muscle, you ain't moving nothing as black people. But as freedom lovers, that's a different story. You understand what I'm saying? As freedom lovers, if we had people that truly enjoy freedom and love freedom that got together, well, as black people, we wouldn't need allies. We just need other freedom lovers that believe in, self-sufficiency, zero government interference, all that shit. Black folks, the reason they fuck with us so much is because it's easy. They didn't start the slavery shit because they like hard work. No, they want it easy. It's easy to fuck with black folks. It's easy to kill them on the streets and not have any retaliation. It's easy. It's easy to strip black farmers of their land because we don't have. What can we do? We have no power anywhere. Zero. Black senators and black congressmen don't have power. Black judges don't have power. They have to abandon any thought of liberation for black folks in order to get where they're at. And that's just the reality of it. And that's why what he said on that show made so much fucking sense. It is what it is, y'all. So, what do we do? Well, when you look at those families that bought that land, you think they're going to have an easy time with that? You think they're going to have, or you think they're going to be uplifted and encouraged by anyone other than, some black folks? So some black people going to look at them and be like, oh, y'all being reverse racist and this, that, and the third. Yeah. It just, and that's what we're dealing with in this country. But if you can get people on the side of freedom, if you can get people to understand what freedom really is, what liberation really looks like, the color doesn't necessarily have to mean anything. That's shit you can figure out later, right? That's some shit you can figure out later. Because if you're under the illusion, if you're white, that, and this is not something that white folks will come out and straight up admit unless they have white guilt, right? If you believe that the system works for you just because you're white, well, unless you're part of that elite cabal, unless they don't consider you to be a consumer, right? No, the system is not for you. It's just going through things in a certain order. They're going through it in order. First, they're going to start with the easiest people to manipulate, to commit genocide upon, right? Because there's less of them. They have less power. So we can set them up to wipe each other out, and then we can go ahead and at some point we can accelerate the agenda by also starting to slaughter them. That's what it is. So if you think that just because you're white and if you're not part of that elite cabal, if you believe that you're going to be okay, even though you wouldn't tell us that, you'll say, oh, there's no such thing as white privilege. Oh, no. Oh, the system, it doesn't work like that. Oh, there's no such thing as racism. There's no such thing as systematic racism. You'll tell us that out loud, but really deep down inside, you're glad you're white. You really are. You glad. Because you see the bullshit. You just don't want to say it out loud. I know. It's okay. That's all right. Let me see what y'all talking about. James. Let me see. Megan accuses to murder. That's the problem. Yep. All right. Let me see if I can catch up with y'all. Got about 5 minutes. I got 6 kids. K.A. Louderback, what's going on? Oh, head deuce. There's something in the elite's rank that even look down on them. Yeah. Fargo is great, Spicy Kai. Yep, I knew it. We talking about gangs and mafias, LOL. Yep. Amen. Sure is a crime story. James Millage. Government is the biggest gang in the world, no doubt. You are touching. Anthony Andrew Seward says, you're touching upon the same talking points I had said in previous arguments in regards to how everyone else can commit crimes to excel and create establishment in casinos. Yeah, for sure. Now, after that, I'm starting my own business. Who says I need white folk? You don't. If you're not seeking white acceptance when you start your own business, then you'll be all right. Lynching licenses for sure. Tells the community back in Jim Crow era should have had firearms. But yeah, that's one thing they needed. They did. Now, some of them did have firearms. It just wasn't enough, especially when they start dropping bombs on us. A lot of people I can see do not know the Constitution because we got right to throw all these people out and no one is doing. Yeah, well, they only use the Constitution when it suits them. What's up, Minus Parable? James, they did, and that was the problem, and that's why they said they bombed Black Wall Street. Yeah, I am be right with you. I have black kids. Yeah. It's fucking parking around here, man. I hate coming down. I hate going to Beverly Hills. Hold on, y'all. I gotta see if I'm in the red a little bit. I wouldn't want to be in the red a little bit and have to pay extortion fees for it. Fucking parking. Ooh, pay for parking and this, that, and bird. Look at these streets though, all cracked up and bullshit. Potholes, but we paying for parking for what? Bunch of nonsense. Fargo is brilliant, especially the series. Every season has a different story, different characters, and different actors, but man, they do an excellent job with the writing. Excellent job. Oh, look, I found this spot. Don't even think about it. It's mine. Not gonna watch me parallel park. Okay. Yep, go around pimping. Alrighty. Alright, this is a tight one. I hate this shit. I don't want to stick out at all. But I might have to. Alright. People in my city give me dirty looks now when I don't have a mask on outside. Yeah, it's retarded. Oh, why aren't you wearing your mask outside? Idiots. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. I got an appointment and I'm about to be late. So it was great talking to y'all. I just thought I would relate that. You know, when I saw that scene, it inspired me to explain what I thought about that scene and how it relates oh so well with this country today and in the past. Just the entire history of this country up to this point. That's why we love crime stories so much. We can relate to them. Anyway, much love to you guys. Peace out, and like, share, subscribe if you feel the want to. Anyway, much love.